Day 29, let's go. 31-day spiritual upgrade. Oh my goodness, guys. Holy, I have just been in bed snoozing for, honestly, I think like 2 hours. So I have downloaded what I wanted to talk to you about today, completely not planned on, what it was actually going to be. So I did have a plan, and plans are meant to be broken. So here we are on the 31-day spiritual upgrade. We are on day 29. Oh my goodness. How many evolutions have you had in the last 29 days? How many seasons have you had? How many waves have you had? How many conversations have you had? How many meals have you had? How many workouts have you had? We can create so much in 31 days, and I'm hoping you guys can hear me. I just had my earbuds in. I've just been sleeping to trainings from my coach and also from a book that I'm reading. So if you're jumping on, make sure you come and say hello. We have certainly had days when no one could hear me, so I'd love to know if you are here. Okay, I'm still just waking up, but I wanted to really get in today's training before my kids come home. Why did I have to say that? Because today we're talking about sweet downloads and rest. Okay, so one of my coaches said to me years ago, you're working all the time, you need to work less. And I said to her, I'm barely working at all. I may have told you guys a story, but I said, I'm working like 3 hours a day. Like, it's hardly like when I was a hairdresser when it was like 10 hours. And she said, no, but you're always working up here. You're always thinking, and you're forever ticking away. And I noticed this, I noticed this with myself, and I also noticed this with others. So I have an open head in human design. And when I'm around people that are thinking so much, like in my coaching, I'll say, stop. You're thinking way too much. Let's come into your heart. I can feel this with my children. I can kind of see the clogs turning in the brain. And my husband is a real big thinker. He's one of those smarty pants people, 5 line, always trying to solve problems. So it's really interesting because when we come into a space of rest, when we come into a space of designated rest, that is when our channels drop in. That is when the ideas drop in. And it's usually when you're on a holiday and you're like, oh, no cell phone. It's usually when you're like, oh, I'm taking a 3-day weekend and literally going to completely rest, or family's coming to stay, or whatever, right? You're going on a retreat. So I set myself up for success where I have spaces where I have completely no technology, or certainly no social media, for days on end. And I do this every 3 months. Why do I do this? Because it's not until I'm in the spaces of nothingness, of no television, no technology, no pressure, no housework, no having to look after lots of people, it's until I take myself out into a quietness, into a sleeping as long as I want, kind of like no expectations of anything. That's when I realize how on my brain is. So this came about today, and if you're jumping on here, come and say hello. Is this your first live? Is this your 20th? Is this your 29th? I would love to hear from you guys, and I'm really hoping everyone can hear me. So it's I'm just gonna actually see and make sure my earbuds are off. So okay, yeah, I think everyone can hear me, hopefully. So today is my flexi day. It's a Monday, and I have set myself up for success. As humans, we set ourselves up for success by creating what I call sexy structures. And I talk about this in my spiritual business mastermind as well. Creating structures, creating we do the drawings of the house, and then we get all of the, we start putting the skeleton of the house together, and then we start filling it in and filling it up. And this is what we do when we're creating programs. This is what we do when we are creating a structure for ourselves. So I give myself a Monday and a Friday flexi day, and usually I give myself the weekend off. So that's 4 quite flexible days. And then I really like to get in there on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, in the perfect reality, that would be amazing, right? But life isn't like that. We've got bumps and we've got like all sorts of things going on, and we can make plans, and then plans are meant to be broken. Now, as spiritual beings, as mediums, as channels, we always need to be listening to the energy of what it is we require at any given time, not what we put in our diary, right? So it's today I was like, I had this plan. I'm getting my nails done. I'm doing this. And I always give myself about 3 things. That's it, right? And so I was like, I'm going to do some studying. I'm going to make my flexi day a study day. Lay down, passed out. Literally. I think I've listened to most of a book while I was asleep. Well, mostly asleep. And I woke up and I'm like, oh, fuck, I needed that sleep. Over the weekend, I didn't switch off my brain. I was like, hey, family, go away so I can work on my art and my craft and create content and really feel into my new program that's coming, feel into my clients, go into my mastermind energy and, comment in the Telegram thread, come into the, this community here, the upgrade and like read things and although it's amazing and fun and incredible, it's just like when you're with friends, after you've been with your friends, you need to go back home and you need to settle down and have a shower and go to bed and, have a Sunday, have a rest day. So it's really important to look at our Sundays and our rest days. It's really important to look at them for ourselves individually. Okay, so for me, if I am tired, if I haven't had some total, complete and utter downtime, I need to have this every single week, but I also need to have this, okay, just trying to put my phone up so it doesn't fall. I need to have this pretty much monthly, okay? So every week I have absolute downtime with no technology. So after this call, I'll be putting my phone away until tomorrow, like literally, and it will just be mum time, right? It'll be being with my kids, I don't know, my dog, making dinner, being human, maybe watching a kids movie, I don't know, whatever. And then what I do is monthly is I go away. So leaving your house, leaving your atmosphere, like your atmosphere is everything. Your environment is everything. So I literally leave town, I go for a drive and I listen to ebooks. I educate myself and I completely take myself out of the environment, even though my environment is beautiful and amazing, for my brain to be completely rested and regulated and for new content and channels to be dropping in, new ideas and growth, I need to shift my environment. So I've got I'm lucky enough to be able to head on over and stay with my sisters, and I've always got a bed and I've always got space and, I'm always really looked after there in a beautiful environment. So the other thing is about every 3 months, I do a retreat. I do this for 3 days and I don't have to do anything. I've got to rinse my plate. That's all I have to do. I do what I want when I want. And it's a total reset. And I don't know how I didn't do this before. So I used to work so hard all the time. And I was talking to a friend about the other day and she said, how much time did you have off when you had kids? And I said, none. And she went, what? And I go, no, I was back cutting hair after, I don't know, like a couple of weeks, I worked up until I pretty much had the baby. I think I had a month off total from when I was pregnant to when the baby was born until I was working again. Why did I do that? Did I do that because I really, really, really wanted to cut hair? No, I did that because I didn't want a fear. I didn't want to lose my clients. I didn't want to have the less $100 or $200, I lived in a $10 town, so everything was real cheap. And then I ended up having a breakdown. And the channels that were coming through at that time when I was waking up, when I had the breakdown to the breakthrough, the channels that I were having were all over the place. They were like, what the hell? I was having kind of crazy dreams. And did I see that? I wasn't sure of myself because I was always so busy running so hard and fast. I couldn't see signs and synchro. I could see them all, but I couldn't see the significance because I didn't have the space to slow down, to reset. I wasn't regulated. I had no time. I was like a new mum on steroids having an awakening who was trying to make the best of what she had. And I still ended up broke. So I share this with you because after I was just having a really long and big sleep, which wasn't a part of my plan today, but it was really needed. I could feel myself getting bitter. Luke was trying to talk to me about something and I was like, I just can't. And I went straight into my son's bedroom because it was the closest, lay down, put my earbuds in, listened to a book and passed out, which doesn't happen that often these days. And when I was coming out of that sleep state, I was like, I need to talk about this. Reset, rest, and how to be a channel, to be a medium, to be spiritually upgraded. We need to rest the human body because often our spirit, especially in upgrades like this, we need to rest a little bit more often, purely because we're upgrading. So our DNA is upgrading, our body is upgrading. Right now I'm training for a half marathon, so obviously my body is shifting, and so I'm eating a bit more food, resting a bit more, going to bed earlier because I'm changing my entire environment. And our human, and if this is resonating with you, if you're getting something from this, I'm bringing lots of threads in, please comment below. I'm having like a cup of soup here. So we have to change our environments, and then our worlds around us change. Of course they change, because my life looks very different to what it looked like 5 years ago, or even 1 year ago, to be completely honest. So we change our environments, and I was yawning all day today, and I was like, I'm so happy, I'm so lit, let's go. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm yawning so much. Oh my goodness, I'm upgrading. Oh my goodness, I am literally regulating my system right now. What does my system need? So when my team's like, let's have a meeting, I'm like, I can't. This is, my body is so aligned and tuned in with my Flexi Day Monday. It is so aligned and tuned in with the upgrades, and to be a grand and glorious and amazing channel, we have to be, a human has to be rested. Now, what I teach in my business programs is we can have cycles, we can have sprints. We can have these really big sprints. You'll see me doing some big, I'm kind of in a bit of a sprint at the moment because I'm creating the after party for you guys. I've been in this challenge while I'm talking to a lot of people about and coming to work with me for like the year, like these amazing, exciting things. We can have these sprints, and there might be times when we go hard for like 12 hours straight, and that's cool. It's like doing a shift, right? But we have to have the downtime. And when your body starts yawning, and most people go, oh, I'm so tired and I don't know why. And it's like, you're regulating, you're shifting, you're changing, you're adjusting, you're pivoting. So the best thing we can do is rest when we need to rest. Now, a lot of people will be like, oh man, I'm always so tired. I've got all these things going on with me. And some people don't want to grow a lot. They find growth so scary that they can kind of dissociate a little bit and just zone out. And this is where addictions like television, like binging and getting the dopamine hits. Like I was just talking to my husband about that, about dopamine hits, and how it's really important that we wake up and we have a good 90 minutes without cell phones, which is something I do every morning. We meditate, we journal, we spend time not getting the quick fixes of the dopamine and the rewards that our cell phones and our technology are giving us. To be a clear channel, like I said, I've always been a channel. You've always been a channel too. But to be a clear channel, it's really important to understand that it's whatever comes in our body, whatever we're doing, our sleep and our water and our nurturing, our relationships, our environment, everything comes into play. So I used to be very much the channel who was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, it was like, what the fuck is going on? And now people say, how do you handle spirits coming and talking to you? And I'm like, I've got really good standards and boundaries. I don't just let them come and do that. And it took a while for that to really be anchored into my psyche, because I changed my environment and I put in standards and boundaries and rules around that, because it's that or it's my insanity, right? It's that or it's my insanity. So when we get to know our own blueprints, when we get to know what is a bedtime that feels good for you, what is an uptime that feels good for you, you know, little things like that really help your channel to be clear as well. I can't see any comments, but I'd love to hear from you guys if this is resonating. I have seasons. So sometimes, right now I'm in like a 5 a.m. season. There's a really cool book called The 5 a.m. Club. I really encourage you to read it if you want something that's quite quirky and fun. It's a long, big book, but it's a really good book. And it took the guy like 4 years to write, I think. But the 5 a.m. Club, so it's like you get up and you exercise hardcore for 20 minutes, and then you journal for 20 minutes, and then you like meditate for 20 minutes, or you educate yourself for 20 minutes, you know. So it's a 60-minute kind of thing in the morning, and it carries through your day. So we've really got to set our day up for massive amounts of success. Now, I will have seasons though where I can't get up at 5 a.m. My body's like, no way, Victoria. So I will get up at like 7. And I'll be going to bed a little bit later. And I'm like, this is weird. So for half the year, I'm like, boom, up I get. And the other half, I'm like, I'm just resting, man. Like, I need to really, really rest. So we can have seasonality in our week, in our month, in our quarterly, in our year. And I really believe if we have structures to support our human, like I can't keep up with my generator friends. Okay, so one of my generator friends, she wakes up super early, manages her 3 kids, goes to work, like, I don't know, like 7:30 or whatever, works all day as like a leader in an accounting firm, then leaves, does the after school, you know, activities or whatever, comes home, does dinner, does yoga. Like, I remember her telling me all the things that she did, and I said, I'm never going to complain about being tired or busy again. This is before I knew about human design. And she laughed, and I was like, what you've just done in one day is like my whole week. And she goes, I do it every single day. I'm up at this time and I'm bed at 10. And I'm like, do you ever get tired? And she's like, this is just my life. But she's a motor. I don't have a motor. So if I'm tapping in and tuning in and thinking and, you know, supporting people with my coaching and my empowerment coaching over the weekend, then Monday comes and I'm like, I'm going to need a nap. I'm going to need some rest time. I'm going to need to go to the gym and drink some water and have some cuddles and watch Harry Potter, you know. So everyone's so different in the capacity that they can hold, but just if you can do more doesn't mean that you're better than anybody else, or if you can't do as much, then you're not as good. We've got to find that sweet spot, because when we are aligned within ourselves, when we know that we're spirit and we look after our human to catch up with our spirit, because we're upgrading so fucking fast in containers like these, when we're doing the work, we're doing the journaling, we're listening to the transmission, the human body is like, I'm going to need some extra vitamin C, or some, before I was craving kiwi fruit, or I want sugar and salt, you know. And if you want sugar and salt, do it a healthy way. Go have some fruit, go have some nice, I don't know, some nuts or something like that, or you can even put a pinch of Himalayan salt into a glass of water, filtered water, scale that back. Like, we tend to, as channels, when a whole lot of stuff is coming through, we're downloading and we're accessing different portals like this, we tend to want to go for the chips. I speak for myself, but ready salted chips and lemonade, oh my God, ready salted chips and, Chocolate, I'd say they're my two weaknesses, because it's the sugar, it's the instant sugar, and it's the instant like oil and salt. And when my body was used to that, that's what I got used to, and that's what I craved. And now as a runner, I'm like, I can't afford to feel gloggy. I can't afford to put on a whole lot of weight, because it's going to hurt my joints when I run 42 Ks. So my environment is everything. Sleep and water and nurturing is so important. But the biggest thing that's the most important is stop thinking. Stop thinking. You can't think yourself rich. You can't think yourself famous. You can't think yourself happy and healthy. I mean, that one there we could probably debate on, but we have to be it. We have to do it before we can have it, right? So we can think about things all we want, but taking action and being aligned with your human being makes you the most powerful channel. And then when you wake up from your snooze, or meditation, or you're doing your active journaling first thing in the morning, because that's just about your dreams and your hopes and your future self, like we've talked about so much on this challenge, then it literally creates itself. Magic and miracles happen, like we've talked about. And yeah, that I call them sweet downloads, because the sweet downloads come through. So when I woke up before and I was like, wow, I needed that rest. I didn't know I was so tired. My body's building muscle, and it's also downloading spiritually, physically, spiritually, mentally. I'm becoming stronger. I'm studying right now as well as serving. It's so good. And it came through with resting is key. You can literally, I don't know who says it, but they're in a book somewhere. Some entrepreneur says, sleep yourself rich, because having total, deep, absolute rest, even if it's active rest, even if it's just actively, going on holiday, even if you've got kids and doing the things, like resting and not thinking is so perfect, to be in the nothingness. And this is when my light language came through, and this is when I'm literally downloading magnificent mediumship. It was at 4:44 a.m. in the morning, and I start waking up, and then all of a sudden, shoom, and I'm like, oh my, and it was all written for me, and I'm like, oh my God, I got up. 4:44 a.m. a few years ago was really, really early, by the way. Now it's kind of normal for me, but I got up and I just started writing. Oh my God. I had the name Magnificent Mediumship, and it just came out. And I remember reading my original notes recently, and I was like, whoa, we're on the 12th round coming up. We've evolved so much from those original scribbled notes. But we always start with scribbled notes. If you saw, sorry about that. If you saw how much paper I go through, because I'm a channel, my diary's nearly full again. I fill up a diary every 6 months. I've got a couple of them. I'm just constantly writing and channeling it out, because we're creating codes. And the more we really feel into the peak experiences, that we feel into our dreams and our hopes and what it is we want to bring to the world, we feel into it and we write it out and we claim it as if it's ours. We be it. Then we do it. Action is so super important. We can't just sit on the sidelines thinking it's going to come about from journaling. We've got to be it and do it. And then we have it. When I first started wearing my hats a few years ago, and I started wearing bright red lipstick, my sister was like, wow, okay, that's a bit different. And I was like, yeah, I didn't realize this concept. I started being it. I wanted a hat full of a wall full of hats, and now I do. I do have a wall. I want a couple more, but I've got a wall full of hats here in my office, and I wanted a view of the ocean. And honestly, I would say that I had 2 or 3 baths a day. Sometimes I had 3 baths in my old house before I made it to the beach. And I would just lie in the bath and have total rest and just visualize just being totally healed and happy and not being so exhausted every single day because I had postnatal depression. I experienced a lot of fucking things, like all of us do, you know, and that's not the story I want to bring here. I want to keep it real light and happy and transformational. And I believe that we can heal ourselves. I believe that with rest and regulation and being optimistic, knowing that there's always a solution for everything. But the biggest problem I see is the overthinking. People are trying to think themselves rich instead of regulating and aligning to rich. And I mean rich in all ways, because at the end of the day, I mean, money is only a thing because we've made it a thing, right? So when we see $1 or $20, it's just a piece of paper. If we see $100, it's just a piece of paper. It's the meaning that we as a collective put to it. So it's really fascinating. There's a book that I highly recommend that you guys listen to or read, and it's called Who Moved My Cheese? And I listened to it a few days ago, and I think I may have mentioned that to you guys, and it was so good. It was just, I love listening to it again. So simple. I'm going to get my kids to listen to it as well. And it's really about living in hope and consistency, like constantly moving forward, even when you're like, where is the fruit, right? Where's the fruit? Where's the cheese? Rather than expecting things, we can come forward with this open heart of, if I look after my human, and then I look after my humans, and if I follow my gut, even if it's scary, I follow what's aligned for me, I know I will be greatly rewarded. So those with faith, they create more. They create more, and they actually have more. There's statistics to show that people with faith, with something higher than themselves, whatever that may be, I'm not saying it has to be religious or anything like that, they actually take bigger risks. Therefore, those risks pay off, and they become wealthier, and most often, most probably happier as well, because they're doing things with a bit of a moral compass, but they take bigger risks because they know that they're backed. They're backed by the universe. They're backed by God. Oh my goodness, I talk so much. So all in all, in this transmission, downloading happens when we're in that sweet dream state quite often. Yep, it can happen during the day. Obviously, it can happen whenever because we're energy. But for me, when my grandparents come through, for me, when every now and then I'll have a sleep in, not very often, but when I do, and I'm like, oh man, I'm tired, I'm going to stay in bed, I'm going to go back to sleep, I will often channel for an hour or two, receiving information. And I don't rely on that. Okay. So I use that space so if spirit pops in, I'll be like, oh, hey, how's it going? But I don't rely on that space. And what I teach in MM is about being in spirit mode. And I talk about it quite a lot, because when we go into spirit mode, I realized I could do it anywhere, anytime. And if you've ever seen me do a channel, I'll be like, here we go. And I'll be going into a channel, my eyes will drop, and I'll feel this energy go over me. And it doesn't matter if I've had 3 coffees, I'm still like, oh, here we go. And I didn't know why I was getting so tired when I was doing these transmissions. I hadn't really learned about mediumship. I was just doing it, And then I realized, oh my God, this is spirit mode. I'm going into the mode. I'm going into the dream state. And so I really like to use my rest time and my time when I'm just kind of waking up to not think about my to-do list. I used to be a pro at that, like total to-do list before I went to bed. When I first woke up, like I was loosey-goosey. I had a big mind knot. There's a masterclass. I talked about that with, archetypes. And I was one big mind knot. I just constantly was thinking all the time. But now I don't. I go to bed and I don't think. Put on a meditation. I wake up and I don't think. I just get up. and I go through the motions of my structure, of my sexy structure. And if I need to adapt that or change that, I do. And I also do this with my food, because if I'm not kind of prepared with what I'm going to eat and I don't go to the supermarket, then I end up eating potato chips all the time because they're so delicious. So to be a channel, you've got to look after your human. Rest is going to give you more than overthinking. Changing your environment around. The book that I'm just reading, Benjamin Hardy says, go through your wardrobe and get rid of anything you haven't worn in the last 6 weeks. I was like, damn, I say people a year, and he said, you only need 6 outfits. And I was like, thinking, yeah, you're not a female. He just wears t-shirts when he's doing his trainings and stuff. But also go into your pantry, why do we have things just because we own them? Get rid of things. The first thing I do in MM is I say, have a clean up, have a really good clean up of your car, of your house, of you. If you're a hoarder, you're going to find it so much harder to channel, to be a clear channel, right? These sweet downloads that we get, they come through for us. They come through awarenesses for others, of course. It can be spirit, it can be ideas. So being a channel isn't just about, there's different types of channeling. Obviously, there's a lot of them. It's really about being that clear channel. So when the information comes through, it makes sense. And before my sleep, just before, I'd been around my husband who was asking me questions. I just went and got my nail done. I'd just done something else. I'd been on a call, and my brain felt kind of full, and I was like, what's going on? I feel good within myself. And then I was just like, oh man, I need to go lie down. I've got to stop. Completely, totally, and utterly stop. It's kind of like, stop the boat, stop. And my brain just goes, stop, because my body, the more conscious I become, consciously aware when I'm doing this work, my body reacts way quicker. So a lot of people think that empaths and mediums are hypersensitive. We are hypersensitive because we're more conscious of what we're feeling. So when Luke came up to me and he started stroking me, I'm like, stop. I was like, it's overstimulating me. I'm already overstimulated. I've already had 3 big conversations and got up super early, went for a workout. So I've been around people all day, which I love because I love people. But I was like, I just need to be alone. I just need to go and I need to completely clear my mind. So I wasn't bypassing. So that's the difference, right? I was listening to something educational. I wasn't binging Love Island or anything like that to zone out, or eating junk food. I wasn't going into unconscious zone. I was like, oh, this is like a trigger. I need to clear out, squeeze out all of my energy centers so I can be that sweet channel. I can be that channel that is clear and ready to bring my magic to the world. And I'm hoping this makes sense to you guys because I'm still half asleep. Yeah. Do we have an Achilles heel? Are we someone who stays up until 11 o'clock at night, wakes up at 7 or 8, finds it hard to open our eyes? Are we a person who is constantly craving sugar? Are we taking things like worm tablets, or are we taking basic things? Are we having vitamin C and fruit and veggies? And what does our body need? Because to be a good channel, we need to be a healthy body as well. And that's something I've really, really noticed is my mediumship abilities get stronger and stronger the more I am healthier, the more my mind is healthier, the more rested that I am. Okay, guys, I hope you've enjoyed today. I can't wait. What is your favorite frame? What is the thing that's popped for you today? I would love to hear from you in the comments. What is the reminders that you have? And I know a lot of people come longer. I know this stuff. Look, and I've never said that you don't. I've never said, hey, I'm there's a magical, I am a magical person. I am a starseed, but my pure job is to help you guys remember and heal yourselves from the inside out, and then bring your magic to the world. It's truly an honor to be able to share such intimate stuff, give you a little bit of a sneak peek into my world as a spiritual entrepreneur, and show you how human mediums are, right? Because you're a medium, I'm a medium. We have got the after party. Have you guys, have you registered? So you have to register to come. It's going to be a Zoom, so it's going to be very, very special. We're going to celebrate. There's going to be balloons. Oh my goodness. I'm just so thinking about getting a cake right now, but no, it's okay. Might get a cake at the end of MM, the next one. Celebrating is going to be a really, really big thing that we're going to be doing at the after party. There's going to be some hot seat Q&As. There's going to be some cards pulled. There's going to be meditation, light language. It's going to be pretty much like a session in my paid groups. Okay, like this is going to be very special. And I know most of my clients that are in my paid groups come to these free events as well. And I like to see them as transmissions. I never see them as freebies. I see them as a co-creation, a gift from me, a gift from the world, a gift to each other. Like, you're the one here listening to this. You're investing in yourself by being here, and I'm investing in you, so it goes all ways. So I hope you come to the party. And of course, I'm going to be talking about the next the next round. I'm going to be talking about what that is, see if you're a fit. Some people are reaching out to me. Keep reaching out if you want to know if you're a fit, or if you're a repeater. Of course, I've got some repeaters coming in like usual. I'm not sure if we had any repeaters last time, maybe one. We've got a couple in this one already, so that's exciting. And I will catch you guys later. See you later. Make sure you go and say that you're coming to the after party. I want to see how many people are coming, and favorite frame on how you guys, just about invited somebody on. Favorite frame on what you've got from the session. So hashtag replay if you're on replay. Okay, guys, that is me. I'm going to go and zone out and rest my human body for the rest of the day, and I'll catch you tomorrow.